We all get consumed by something. Music, film, a good book, perhaps even that new healthy lifestyle. On Consumed, we talk to people about what's consuming them. So, let's get consumed. Hello, and welcome to Consumed. This week, we're going to be consuming Dave Holt. Hi, Dave. How are you?
Hello, how are you doing, fellow egg?
I don't think I've actually spoken to you for probably about 10 years.
Yeah, I was trying to work this out earlier, actually. I'm trying to think the last time. Probably doing photos of like the horse.
Yeah, exactly. We split up in 2015, 2016.
Yeah, long
So
time ago.
obviously, yeah, exactly. The first thing I want to know is what did you have for dinner?
I had 3 beers in the pub down the road in the sun and
Great.
had some toast with Marmite before I went out. I was like, oh, better have something before I go out. I was like,
Oh,
so yeah.
Marmite and
Dinner
toast
at
and then 3
champions.
pints. That's perfect. That's great.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's the kind of scumbag I am these days.
Yeah, I was going to say I haven't spoken to you for 10 years, but you haven't changed.
Not a great deal, no. Not a great deal.
I should probably let my 40 listeners know, how do we actually know each other?
School, and you were part of a locally famous busted cover act around school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've forgotten that.
Did you play in that?
No, that was who was that? Was it you, Owen,
I played in
Thingy
that.
Owens, and
Well, are you
yeah,
talking about Zazu? Or are you talking
yeah,
about...
you had a full name. Well, that was an actual band, wasn't it? But this was like that
Yeah.
school like competition of like talent show or something.
Yeah, I did do a talent show where I played a busted song with Jez Edwards and
That
Andrew
was it.
Edelston. But
Oh, with
Neil
Andrew
French played
Edison.
Neil French played guitar and Will Peck played drums.
Really? Yeah, good times. My old band, my old backup band.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, we're both in
Yeah,
the category of men who had long blonde hair.
that's us.
The, re-
We
the
live
reason
the
I'm wearing a
dream.
hat, I say this quite a lot. The reason I'm wearing a hat is because it shines off the light shines off my head. So I have
Yeah.
to cover it.
That's an eternal issue. Like, I remember when I was with that band with Robbie Redway years later, we were playing in this like quite decent venue, like in I think it's in Hackney or somewhere, some square that had bars in it. And with manager Mark James from Brownwood at the time, played this like did a little sound check and stuff. Came off and he was like, "Do you have a hat?" I was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "There's a light spouting straight out of your head." I'm like, "Brilliant." So that's all I'm going to think about when I'm on stage. And I was just like, for the whole gig, just like trying to get away from my pedal board, just like, pretty sure I'm in a bad place here. There is footage of it, and I think I was out of the light in the darkness where I belong. So yeah, I do know that. I do know that issue, the shiny head issue. It's impossible to mattify such a thing.
Yeah, I just have to embrace it.
Yeah,
Embrace the
exactly.
shiny head. So what are you up to at the moment?
I'm still living in London, living in Camberwell
Yeah.
these days.
Oh,
I don't know if
nice.
you remember Michael Marchant Jones, ginger guy, went to Sir John Law's.
Oh yeah,
He's
yeah,
my
yeah,
housemate.
yeah. Oh right, yeah,
So,
yeah.
so we're still here doing our thing.
Nice.
Yeah. Haven't played music
Sounds
in a
like
very long
future.
time.
No, me
Yeah, it's a
neither.
little bit like future.
Yeah.
I do photography these days, and I work for an arts university, and that's kind of it, really. Just kind of popping
Yeah.
along with that.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
photography going well.
yeah, it's all right, isn't it? It's something to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good. I'd see
Yeah,
your photos on Instagram, but the
yeah,
actual
that's what
photo,
I'm about.
I made it sound like that was just your snaps from holiday, but no, these are actually proper photography.
Yeah, to other people I don't know, just poor unsuspecting strangers get caught in the act. Yeah, it's kind of what I do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
full-time
Yeah.
people watcher. Yeah.
So what have you been into recently? Let me know.
God, you know what? I got stuck in a bit of a like. I used to wonder about my dad because my dad used to always like, "Oh, I just don't really used to do a lot of new things." And Muse was
Uh,
the only band he liked, and I was like, "Oh, what a loser! Like, how can you not like new bands?" And then I became the same loser. And I was like, "New stuff, shit, isn't it?" Ugh. And I just kind of fell down this rabbit hole of not looking at anything. But I've made an active effort more recently. Like I did, like end up listening to Geese and thought, actually, they're pretty mad. They're pretty interesting.
yeah.
But like, who have I seen more recently? Well, I saw UMO. I know Mortal Orchestra
Oh yeah.
not too long ago. They played like 4 or
Yeah.
5 nights in that weird little place in Dalston. It's called Earth. It's got like it's an
Yeah.
old theatre. It's got its benches.
Yeah.
They're like
It's
new
near the
new
canal, that, isn't
things.
it? I love that
I'm not too
band.
sure.
Absolutely love that band.
I know you do. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I think it might be you that showed me them in the first place,
Oh
actually.
really?
And yeah, many years ago. And but no, who else have I been sort of seeing? There's a band
Have
called
you
Sorry that I quite like, and yeah, they're
what
pretty
kind of
good.
music are they?
That's my worst question to answer. They exist. They exist and they have members and they're sort of female fronted and yeah.
Have you not listened to Engine de Poitrine? I was talking about this band last week, but have you not
I
listened
have
to
heard
that?
some of that. Yeah, it's pretty intense. I mean, kind
Yeah,
of
it's quite
bizarre.
intense. Yeah, I feel like you didn't you used to listen to Primus?
I like some a little bit of Primus, yeah. It's like I like some of those mad bands that are just like super technical and weird. You sort of go like,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
those kind
yeah.
of bands. They fit
Yeah,
in that
that's what
category of just like, what the fuck are they doing? Yeah.
yes, basically. Yeah,
Yeah. I haven't listened to
absolutely.
enough of them to be honest with you. I probably should investigate them a bit more.
Yeah, you
But
should.
yeah, I'm also a sucker for like being like, oh, they're hyped, therefore I won't listen to it. You know, like that kind
Yeah,
of
yeah. I definitely used to be like that, or I would like them, and then they got too hyped or too big, and
yeah.
they've sold out by being
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm more the opposite these days. I sort of wait until that hype's over and then I get too late to the train and realise they're really good and then I can't get tickets for their gigs and like, like
Well,
Geese.
this
Geese is one of those. I heard that name around.
yeah,
But
I know. You're like,
then started
"Geese, what
actually
kind of name
listening
for
to
a
them. It's
band
like,
is that?"
oh, yeah, yeah.
They're actually quite good.
Exactly. They are,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, they're pretty
I
hype.
tried to get
But
tickets
mm,
to, Engine de Poitrine in Leeds, but it's sold out already. You went to
uh,
uni in Leeds, didn't you?
you know I did.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
was
I think
just
I bumped into you at house party. Remember
yeah, I did.
that?
Burst into a room and you were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, that's true." Anyway, they're playing the yeah, they're playing the Academy, and that's quite a big venue,
Is that the
so I was
new one they
surprised.
built?
The arena or the I don't know.
I know. No, that's where the club night was, the academy, wasn't it? That's quite
Yeah, I'm
near
not sure.
Leeds Met University. I think I know the one you mean. I
Yeah.
saw BRMC there a couple of times.
Oh, really nice. Yeah. They,
Mm,
yeah, it's quite a big venue for anyway, they sold out. It sold out in October, so I missed the boat on that.
next time.
So what do you watch on TV? Or have you watching anything? Or how do you what are you how do you consume things is basically what
Yeah. I haven't watched too much. I used to be like a relentless series watcher, I
uh-huh.
think, when I was smoking a bit more things. And, but things I saw recently, did watch I was a bit slow to slow horses. Oh, that's great. Have you seen that
Yeah.
at all?
No, I've
With
not seen
Gary,
that.
is it Gary Oldman, I think it is.
It is, yeah.
It's essentially like a bunch of people. I think they kind of failed at being in the, I want to say FBI, but it's not FBI because it's English. But they get put in this crappy building around Barbican just to sort of rot. But they end up being
Yeah.
quite good at solving a few cases and stuff like that. And Gary
Yeah.
Oldman's amazing in that. He looks like a mess. He looks so awful in it. His whole character is he's playing this like overweight kind of degenerate, you know, drinker, and he's excellent. You're really sold by it. I did watch a weird show called Lupin. It's like a French show, and I had to watch that without dubbing because the person I watching it with wanted to watch it with just pure subtitles. You know, if I was on my own private time, I definitely would have had the dubbing on. But it's essentially this guy he's a professional criminal. He does all these kind of
Yeah.
like sleuthy sort of things, but kind of comically, he has these like has these costumes that he wears, but he always looks like Lupin. He's always like, oh my god, I can't believe it's him. But you're like, well, it's kind of is looks just like him, but it's like Superman with glasses on and off. You're like, come on.
Yeah.
But no, those have been really good. I haven't watched too many other things apart from that. Like I've always been like a bit of a documentary watcher, and I've not kind of delved in. And I kind of watched. I was like the kind of I used to search for documentaries that have a twist in
Uh,
them, and I got all these kind of dark as all hell documentaries. I was like, might need a little bit of a rest from some of these.
you've delved too deep. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, as I can't sleep anymore, just like lying in bed thinking about these horror stories or things. But there's a really good one that I always recommend to people called Tickled.
Oh,
I don't know if you've heard of this.
no, go on. Please tell me.
It's about this guy, he's an Australian like documentary maker. I think he sort of did like a series in Australia of these like weird oddities and like, oh, we're going a bit like Louis Theroux. And he found that there was this league of professional tickling. It is
What?
literally, well, yeah. And he's like, okay, that's messed up. Let me have a look into it. And so he contacts them. He's like, hi, I'd like to do, a bit of a show. I'd got this show, whatever. And then this person who writes back just sends him all this abuse. And he's gay, this guy. So he's like, okay, I'm going to send back, a few. This guy sort of sends back a whole bunch of verbal abuse about him being homosexual. And he's like, that's a bit strange. Why, how did you know that? And also, so he sort of does research on him and all this kind of thing. And so he's like, well, I'm going to delve a bit deeper into this. And then he starts contacting the people that have done this for him. and none of them want to speak. They're all like, "No, we don't want to talk." And it gets really dark. And
Oh
turns
my
out that
God.
he's I won't go too much into it to give it away because it's so worth watching, but he's basically the child of like a rich oligarch family and has so much money, doesn't have to do with. So he just kind of set up this weird tickling thing. It escalated. And before you know it, he's like behind the scenes running this fake professional like tickling. And he'd get like MMA fighters and stuff, like really macho guys who don't want to admit to it. They
Yeah.
just needed the money. But then he
Yeah.
uses it as blackmail.
Oh,
And so it escalated this and it just gets worse and worse. And you're just like, how? And you could tell that he had no idea this was coming from this as well. So that is something I'd recommend that to everyone. Like,
I
it's
mean,
just
that
so
is,
mad.
I mean, that is bizarre. So, like, I mean, professional, like tickling as in like a sport?
Yeah, so a guy will get, like, tied down and filmed. Filming is the
Yeah.
key, and
Yeah.
then some other guys who are also definitely straight sit over him and just tickle him on film. Yeah, and it turns out this is global. He's got this in, like, all countries all around the world. It's a massive, big, like, blackmail scheme, and so he goes to hunt him down, and it's crazy.
What can I watch that on?
Whichever illegal means you choose to go down, I suppose. It
I'll
might
just
be on
Google it. Yeah. Yeah.
Prime. Yeah. Yeah, and there was another one I think called like the Toynbee tiles, and there's this guy
Right.
who kept finding all these weird cryptic tile things like embedded in fresh tarmac. And he's like,
Okay.
"What is this weird cryptic messages?" And he found them all over the city, and then he looked up online, and people started finding them around the world, and he was hunting down the person who did these, and that's a kind of a bizarre one as well. That's another sort of could go on about 10 minutes about that, but yeah,
What's it
the two of the
called?
more innocent ones. The full title, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like Toynbee Tiles. You'll find it on that. And it's this
Yeah.
weird guy who's just started embedding these cryptic messages in like pavements. So find fresh
Ah,
tarmac, run out with this almost like a template, almost like a stencil of a pre-made thing, and bed it in there, roll it in there, and then the cars would
yeah.
roll over it and push it in there. And it's been there for years. And
Oh no.
he tried to find the location of the guy that did it, and he found all these like tester ones in this area, all these little words and letters, and was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
So that's the kind of thing I've been watching. There's
No,
not been
it
a
sounds interesting.
series, a new series that I've actually watched too much recently. Did start watching Arrested Development again recently, which is a
Oh,
bit of
yeah. Nice.
an old classic, an old faithful, but
Yeah. Always
uh,
nice to fall back into that.
indeed,
I
yeah.
think you said you had a couple of more innocent documentaries. Were you about to say that?
I
Or did
think
I
those were
mishear
the
you?
ones.
Oh, right.
The other ones,
They're the more
the other
innocent
ones
ones.
are absolutely diabolical. You're like, oh god, like oh god, I don't want to talk about them. So, so we'll leave it at that.
I haven't watched anything like that for ages. I think probably in lockdown, I watched one on Netflix called The Puppet Master. Did you watch that one?
Hey, what's
Oh,
that?
man. That was really sad. It was just about this guy who basically emotionally manipulated people, and, he basically would lie to people and, like, but they would be convinced by his lies. And then, like, this woman was essentially kind of like he took them on the run, and they were driving around in a car. They were just like mates from uni. And then it was
Mm.
kind of like the story kind of progressed, and there was other people who later in life that he kind of done a similar thing to. And then it just said 9 years later, and it cut to this woman, and she was still, like, under his, like, power essentially, and she'd been living, like, in this room with, like, newspaper on the windows, and she couldn't see it, like, look out, and no one had called her by her real name for, like, 9 years, and, like, she just, like, lost her life because this guy had just manipulated her emotionally. It was pretty horrible, to be honest.
Jeez.
It wasn't nice. It wasn't nice. It was
Yeah.
interesting, but it wasn't very nice to watch.
It's in the same wheelhouse as some of the stuff I've watched. It's like, oh
Yeah.
god. So let's
Yeah.
not tell my friends about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to share everything, that's fine.
Yeah.
Good
So
stuff.
yeah, I kind of haven't done so much of that, but I'm a bit of like a nerd for like virtual reality. I'm still in that thing. So rather than watching stuff, because I work from home these days, so I'm always
Yeah.
just sort of sedentary, just
Yeah.
like all these hours and like try and be less of a blob. So
Yeah.
I like the VR things probably they've just kept me fit. 'Cause it means like stand up and like doing
So you
this
just
for a couple
you've
of
been
hours and
with, like, a VR headset, you've been playing VR games? Is that what you mean?
since
Oh.
COVID, really. Yeah, I got into it during
Oh,
COVID
great.
because there's
Cool.
nothing else to do. And there's like
What kind of stuff you been playing?
mostly shooters. So stuff like there's like a Battlefront equivalent, like a Call
Mhm.
of Duty version games. And there's a game that's a shooter, but it's like they've like modded all the levels from like Call of Duty and the old school games and stuff like that. So you can play
Yeah.
them in VR. So that's the nerdy element of my life that I try to keep undercover. But yeah.
No one knows about that. Until now. Yeah. I've only ever done one thing like that. So I was on Tom Beecham's stag do. We went to a VR place in Camden and did a prison break,
Oh, yeah.
which was good fun, actually. We broke out of the prison, which was good. I fell over at one point,
Yeah. Not still there.
and the guy was just like, who worked there, just like on my headset, just like, don't worry, it's not real. I was like, yeah, thanks, mate. I know. I just was crouching down and something exploded and I lost my balance. That's all. I know. And then just
Yeah. The
constantly,
first time you do VR, it just taps into that part of your brain, which is like, oh, this is reality. You're just
yeah,
like, oh, shit. Oh. It still
well,
happens
exactly.
now after like 5 years. Yeah.
Yeah. We're all in like little square little rooms and like that are like, 3 meters square or whatever. And I'm just like walking into the wall constantly. And I was like, oh, I don't actually have to do that. Just move my hands and I can move forward. But yeah, but it was good. It was good fun. Yeah, that's in Camden. That I did somewhere in Camden.
Yeah. There's a
But it
few
was
of
good
them. I've
fun.
done one in like Box Park as well. I think there's like a
Oh,
cyberpunk one coming out. So I'm trying to bully my
yeah, yeah.
friends into coming along to me with that.
Yeah,
See how that
nice.
goes.
Yeah, good stuff. So I've got an exciting question that I asked. I said I was going to ask you. So if you were on a desert island, which dessert would you eat first?
I just read that one a couple of times when you sent me that. It's like, dessert. It's definitely dessert, right? Because I was thinking about dessert. I was hungry. I had some toast. So, like, I was like, I was all tiramisu, obviously. Just like, I still fantasize. When I used to work at Pizza Express. We used to have to make the tiramisus in these big trays. And I
Yeah,
remember just being like, how can I potentially ever get one of those? Like the whole big tray. So it was so good.
yeah.
Tiramisu. But I was thinking about that in the pub earlier when I was boozing. And I was thinking about, do you remember at school when we used to have our little meal tickets for £1.20, and it
Uh-huh.
was like, get those little ice
Yeah,
buns in a little
yeah, yeah,
bowl,
yeah,
and you could
yeah.
add custard. And I was
Mhm.
like, that was probably one of my favorite desserts of all time. Was just a nice bun with custard, knife and fork. You know, jab all the fork in it, get that custard in there, and just sit there and eat that. It's back when I was like bulking up during my rugby days, and I was just always needing more food and stodge. And I was like, oh god, those are the days. It's like I was like, thinking about see if I could hook that up, go to Greg's or something, and get myself something like that. But I was just thinking about tiramisu the whole time, really. And there's a place down the road from me called Cakes on the Corner that do all the old school kind of desserts. Like they
Nice.
cost about five quid each.
All right.
I've only ever done that a couple of times. And I've been hammered. It's over the road
Yeah.
from my favourite Irish pub. And it's like, I spend 5 quid on some fucking Tottenham cake. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like, doing that a little bit.
You should see
Yeah.
them
What about?
see if they do a nice bun with custard there.
I have a word. Just the other day.
Yeah.
Cost me a fortune though.
I don't ever remember doing that at school. I remember the ice buns, but I never remember putting custard on it.
No one else did. It was just
Yeah.
me. I was getting judged pretty hard on that, and I was very, very awkward and shy. Those, I was like, it's fine. Get my money's worth.
Leave me
Yeah.
alone. This is normal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like I just got lumped with like egg and cress something or other. So like for last dinner, at least try and make my way up in that. It's
Yeah. I don't think they have tickets anymore. I think it's thumbprint recognition for the old dinner tickets.
something recognition.
Apparently, so Kieran went back to school to do a talk about acting, and this was years ago. Like we're talking 10 years ago, and it was thumbprint recognition. Then I actually this is you won't know this, but I went back to school 2 years ago because Tom Beecham got married in the chapel there, which
I
I know
remember. Yeah, yeah.
you do remember. Okay, fine.
He
It
was
was
asking me to do
ridiculous.
photos for it, but I also had like a wedding as well, so I couldn't do it that
Uh,
weekend. I remember being like,
that's a
oh,
shame.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it was the weirdest thing going back inside that school chapel. It was the smell. The smell was the biggest memory. Walking in, just be like, my God, I've not smelt this room for like 20 years. No, it was weird. Like when they were thinking about finding the venue, Tom just sent me a picture of his dad standing in the chapel. And I was just looking at his picture being like, I recognize that place. But I don't know, where is that? And then I realized it was just those like pictures they had on the back. And I was like, man, I haven't looked at that or thought about that for like decades. And I used to stare at those things like twice a week, like
Just
for like
mindlessly, just
7 years.
zoning out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's it. That's exactly what I was doing during his wedding. Not mindlessly zoning out, of course, but
Yeah.
but
It's
just
funny you
staring at
say
me
that.
like that's one up.
I went back there. Do you remember Ruth Cram? Jess Cram?
I do, yeah, yeah.
Jess
She was in
Cram
my year at
from your
school.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to one of her kids' christenings there last year
What?
in the
This is
chapel.
what? Why is she getting her child christened at school chapel?
Who
Does she live
knows?
in Harpenden?
No, Switzerland.
How do you know her?
Oh, well, we dated back in those days, but we stayed friends afterwards anyway for years. And
Yeah.
then she got married, I guess about 4 years ago now, and they eloped to Gretna Green. on the way to Scotland. And it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
also her fella's birthday, and they kept it secret. So they eloped, I guess is the word, right?
Yeah.
But she wanted someone to take photos for it who she knew.
Okay.
So she asked me. So I went and did that and had to be all. Then
Like, yeah.
they had the birthday party in some place in Scotland in this like ridiculously beautiful hotel and view. I forget where it was. And then was like, surprise, we're married. And yeah, and I was there being like,
Taking
I
pictures.
was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, but no, I was exactly the same thing. I was like, I was there with my missus, and I was like, what she refers to as Dave shit tours whenever I give her facts about absolute bullshit, which is all the time.
What?
And I was like, going, all the students back in the days did the carvings, aren't they great?
Yeah.
Those carvings, aren't they wonderful? Is that
Yeah.
great? It's good.
Yeah.
Don't care. So,
Man.
but yeah, the same thing. But I got to go into like the dining hall. She looks basically the same.
You went in the dining
It
hall?
looks yeah, dining hall.
Oh.
The after thing was got to walk outside. Yeah, the now grassed over swimming pool. Be like, this used
Oh,
to be a
yeah.
swimming pool. She's like,
Yeah,
great,
yeah, yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Really care
Good
about that.
stuff. I don't
Yeah,
care about it. I mean, that was
got to,
grass when I was at school. Yeah.
yeah, it was towards the end, wasn't it? I forget that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
And then did you show where you got the ice buns and custard from?
I probably told her about that.
The
It's kind of shit
little
I would say.
triangle paper of water.
I definitely mentioned the cone of water because there was
Cone
a
of
girl
water.
I won't name, but I was over by the machine. I don't know if you remember that piece of shit machine. It was like the worst, like, it was like,
In the dining hall at school. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, it would take
they bought it from
so
like a
long to
fate.
fill
They're
up.
like, oh, some car boot sale. Like, we need a
Yeah.
water fountain. We better get this. This will do.
Yeah.
And you there take ages. And a girl who's in my year was waiting, and she said to me, she says, "Oh, if you put the cone nearer the top of the water source, it will fill up quicker." And I was like, "Okay." I didn't know what to say. I was like, "That is so incredibly wrong." But I was like, "Is it wrong? It's so wrong. I'm pretty sure it's just going to fill up the same way. There's no like difference. It's not going to fill up quicker if it's nearer the top of the actual filling up mechanism." So I just kind of let it slide. But yeah, I remember those cones because you had to like hold your water while you ate your food.
Yeah. 'Cause you couldn't put your cup down. Definitely not.
Mate, you can't eat an ice bun with custard and knife and fork and have water at the same time.
No. The cone will fall over. It will definitely fall over. Yeah, it was so when Tom got married there as well, Harpenden third, like 11 cricket team were playing a cricket match, and half of Tom's wedding guests were from America, and so it was like this most like British scene ever. And then as we left the chapel at the end, Tom's dad's Morris dancing troupe started Morris dancing, and so it was just like a real surreal kind of experience. It was great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, being served by champagne by I guess they were just boarders from the school. They would definitely went to the school. They were just handing out champagne. But yeah, it was a fun
Oh, great
experience
place.
going back there. Oh well, yeah. I mean, I had a nice time there, but it was odd going.
I did
Well,
do the
actually,
whole tour. I did the whole walk around.
well, all I did was go in the chapel and then go into where the sixth form common room used to be, which is like some kind of wasteland. There was just like nothing in there.
There's nothing in there. It's just like tables, no soul, no Janice's calf.
No, but you know the old. This is good. This chat is going to be so niche for so many people that just don't know what we're talking about. We're just talking about the secondary school we went to. But the whole like languages block became sixth form area. So if you remember where you used to have your French and German lessons, that like got
Yeah.
in Goddard, the block, the
Yeah,
house, that became all sixth form area. But like about 20 years ago, quite a while.
Where did they move the languages then? Did that go where the old train, remember the old miniature train?
Oh man, yeah, I remember looking at that through the window.
Like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
miniature train.
Weird.
So yeah, there was a miniature train that used to go around, but probably in the 80s and early 90s. I think it had pretty much stopped by the time I'd started school. But I do remember going on that as a child.
Yeah.
So good
I think
times.
it was when you'd like go for the open day.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's a train here. Like, all right.
Cool. I want to go to
Great.
the school with the train in it. Will
Yeah,
I ever see
sounds
that
good.
train again?
Selling
No.
points.
No, definitely not. Well, this chat actually does link me into the next question, which would be, where would you go if you had a time machine?
My instant one was the pyramids. I would have to figure that one out. I've got to see that with my own eyes, how they did that. How many aliens did it take to build the pyramids?
That's not a bad
That
shout,
one-
actually. How did you do that? How did you make those upside down cones of water? How did you make that
Yeah,
shape?
well, Well, I'm kind of like I've been kind of like balls deep in that situation for quite a long time. I'm a bit of a do love a conspiracy theory. Me, I'm like a I was really into like all that nonsense when I was a kid, but then I've always had this bit of a fascination with them as a subject in general. Like the madder the better. And
Yeah.
the pyramids one's always been one of those ones you're like, no, that's actually very cool because there's all this kind of stuff with them. Like there's no people say they're tombs. People think they're tombs, but they never found any mummies in them. And also everywhere else has hieroglyphs. There's no
Yeah.
hieroglyphs inside the pyramid. So there's this whole idea that they're some kind of machine.
Hmm.
That's good fun. That's crazy and excellent. I'm here for it all day long. So like, give me all the crazy on that. Like the idea of them being like using certain frequencies for healing properties and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
like certain noise generation. So that's fun. So I want to go there and figure that out. So see what's going on with that.
Yes. Great shout.
Oh yeah. But also, I'd love to go back to. I always had a fascination with like being a little grunge kid when I was younger.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the film Singles?
No.
It's a film that's based around in the grunge era, and it's got like
Uh,
Pearl Jam in it and a bunch of
uh,
other little guest appearances. It's about a couple essentially living in Seattle, and it's just like it was kind of like taking advantage and making coin off the at the time very popular grunge scene. I think it was Thingy Cameron who made all the ridiculous blockbuster films. I forget what his name. It's not David Cameron.
James.
Different
James.
one. James Cameron, the better one,
David
the better
Cameron
one of
was
the
Prime
family.
Minister.
Yeah, so that, yeah, he was a letdown to that family, wasn't he? But yeah, so one of his earlier films, and I remember watching that and just being like, sort of showing all the kind of venues and stuff, and like they show Soundgarden doing a live gig in some like proper dodgy looking venue, and I was like, yeah, I'd love to go back. It's like 91, 92, and just like spend a few years just experiencing the whole
Yeah.
little grunge Seattle scene.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That would be a great shout. Yeah. It's that or the pyramids. You get 2 stops. That's
I
fine.
got time. I got time.
Yeah.
I had
You
time in
got
between
lots of
there.
time.
So
That's it. Where are you going first? You going to the pyramids first or you going to Grunge Seattle?
grunge can wait. Grunge can wait.
Yeah.
God, I've got to find this one out. It's been bothering me my whole life. You know, keep me up at night. Trying to work out.
So my last question is then, if you were on a game show, what would your specialist subject be?
It would be 90s stuff. It's like the most random, pointless trivia. But I don't know. I don't really have a great knowledge base in any one thing, just like a smattering of random crap across everything. I used to drive my dad mental with this. Like the amount of
Go on.
time I used to come out with some factoid in the car and I'd never shut up. And he'd be like, it's classic as though if you applied that kind of ability to your schoolwork, maybe you'd be doing right, that kind of thing. You know, like, oh, right, cheers, Dad. You know, and then
Oh,
obviously the
great.
girlfriends now was just, oh, yeah, Dave shit tours again. Like recently, I was like, we were walking along South Bank. I go to South Bank all the time because it's like 12 minutes on the train from where I live. And there's a, if you know about this, fun fact about bollards.
Go on.
If you look at them, they're
Yeah.
even modern ones, whether subconsciously or not, they think it's subconsciously, they're based on the design of cannons. And
Oh, right.
we used to, when we would like win battles, we'd take all the cannons as like a thing, and there's one on South Bank, which is near, I think, like the Greek place or the Pizza Express near one of the bridges. It's like, it's used, the top of it's used as an ashtray. People don't give a crap like about it at all. And it's hundreds of years old. And it was taken, it's a real cannon from like, the Napoleonic Wars. And it's just wedged in as a bollard. There you go. Just
Great.
this hundreds of years relic. And if you look at modern ones, they're designed like cannons with a cannonball in the
Cool.
top. So if
Yeah.
you see some of those Black Twister ones, look at them, sort of cannon
All
there.
right.
So I
Good
would
fact.
have, I'd like it to be just based on all the little boring facts that I've accumulated over the last 20 years. If they could try and hit all those points, I'd go home with the jet ski. It'd be fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Perfect. So where exactly is that cannon on South Bank? Because I'm going down to London this weekend.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah, yeah. It's fascinating. So if you go along, if you go to Blackfriars and then you go
Yep.
towards, what's the theatre called? The oldie theatre,
The Globe.
Shakespeare one.
The
The
Globe.
Globe, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
if you
you
keep walking
go
past
left.
that,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's on your right hand side. River's on the left somewhere, and you keep walking down. Just before
Yeah.
you get to a bridge, which I forget the name of, it's just around down there in front of like the crappy restaurants. There's like
Yeah.
a Pizza Express and
Yep.
like
There's a
original Greek restaurant, and you'll just see it there, just looking all decrepit, full of fag butts. No respect shown for the legendary factoid bollard. But,
that's
mm,
that is a good factoid. Oh, it's good. Great. Well, that's I'm not going to be able to fire up any questions for you on facts that you already know. So I won't be able to ask you any questions, which is no problem. Thanks for coming on the podcast, Dave.
Thanks for the invite. Yeah.
It's all right. No, nice to chat.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. Pleased we managed to get the audio sorted. I don't know what happened there.
Took about half an hour. It's good.
It took us probably about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to get going, but I'm pleased we managed it in the end. But yeah, thanks very much for coming on. This is my catchphrase, by the way, because I know you don't listen to the podcast, but it's nice to chat.
Mm-hmm.